位 ？OK， 繼續玩啦。
I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
開啟咖啡機。
Hey, handsome. This is gonna be a long night, but these shots are turning out great.
I guess you're gonna need that coffee then. I'll go put it on.
冇咖啡機，攞住樽先。你喺度做咩啊？曬相。你中意曬相㗎？新電視？做乜唔開心啊？開心，去睇。要睇電視啊？唔係咯，全部都唔俾開嘅。咖啡機應該喺度啦。
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
就係呢份。Alan Wake, The Sudden Stop.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called. Alan!
做乜又熄晒燈㗎？
Please check the fuse box.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me. This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now. My wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
呢兩份原稿係咪會喺最後出現嘅咧？Alan
I
Wake,
really don't like this, Alan.
Return to
Please hurry.
sender. What I can't forget. Alice Casey. The thing that I want.
Alan!
The fall
I
of
really
Casey.
need those lights on.
我唔開燈會點啊？
I'm right here, baby.
I'm fine, I'm fine. Just get the lights back on. Now,
Oh.
please.
我以為觀看佢添。
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay.
照住你。
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
燭光啊！
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too.
When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
Rồi cái thầy Sắt chung人口
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
It's okay.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
搞乜鬼啊？有無啦啦變咗綁票咁款嘅咧？
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I couldn't go anywhere yet. I had to play along with the caller. Alice's
no
life
such
was at
luck.
stake.
He went on a bender and beat Danny pretty badly. He started shouting like that.
Theo原稿
Alice looked through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the
係咪
camera.
就係成日嚇我嗰個老女人
Down
啊？
there, just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her head and laughed.
Damn it! More light!
又有咖啡
I
樽，
don't like the goddamn shadows in here.
盞燈閃下閃下，咩嚟咧？
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the brake float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsal today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
Hey!
你哋慢慢揾啦，我諗佢應該死咗啦。Cell area。
Hey, can you turn the light? The light's on! The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. I need it to be bright in here.
其實你後面有個窗口㗎，你不如望過去啦，你望過去會光啲㗎。係啊，嗰邊啊，望過去啦，望過去啦，嗰邊啊，嗰邊光啊，你唔好成日望住呢度啦，呢度梗係冇燈啦，你望過去先有燈㗎嘛。唉。
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power.
點解要叫黑暗魅影？佢明明就係一個老女人，點解要叫黑暗魅影？我覺得呢個名改得好差。
Hey, please help me, man. I hate this.
我係咪可以開燈嘅？
Thank
唔好嘈啦。
you. Hey, you're all right. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See, sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen, you gotta listen carefully now. Here's the kicker. That wasn't Danny. No, sir. It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien! I know it sounds like something a drunk would say, but believe me, I wasn't drunk then.
唔緊要啊，黑暗嘅魅影我都見過，外星人有咩咁出奇啊？我信你㗎，你信我啊？我信你㗎。雖然你都係一個飲醉咗嘅樣，我真係唔好理你啦。
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, "Go through the fence on the left."
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep.
夜你條命啊！依家日頭嚟㗎。
It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deerfest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting, the big day's almost here, but let's save it for the party and leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
The caller had told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car.
廢車，架嘢真係廢廢地嘅。For town employee， 即係一架警車同一架救護車，仲有一個位擺咩？係咪擺消防車？跑啊！點跑開啊？你點過去？踢！哇！成塊踢爆恐怖！
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall on the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
你同個綁匪一齊喺一個叫情人峰嘅地方，太恐怖啦！
Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
即刻有電話。
Barry? Ow! Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. Oh, I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Al, what the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
咁係咪有多個人同我一齊打咧？離開警局，可唔可以就咁走啊？嚟跳上個車，跟住再跳去，再跳去。喂，明明夠高喎，夠高啊！夠高啊！點解唔俾我走啊？走啊！唔得嘅，搞錯。翻咗入嚟啊嘛！
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it.
原來呢個電視我見到我自己啊！
Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
一步而且出煙啊！嚇死我！你熄翻燈。 你瞓着咗唔知嘅咧。
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing.
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my!
Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake!
又係你
You
啊！
found him.
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
What an airhead.
Jeez,
Wow.
Mr. Takes
Oh,
a
that's a
swing
lot.
at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan. She even has a fan site dedicated to you.
哥倫比亞長毛象，整件咁嘅嘢做乜呢？
Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car, just listen to yourself.
有恐龍添喎。
What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? What, are you high?
乜串我啊？唔係我，全部門開唔到。呢隻熊
Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice,
Do
and
you
everything's just...
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
開始當我係黐線佬啊，點算啊？佢哋唔信我啊，點算啊？
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey,
Yeah,
Rusty, right? You're at Cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure. What
好
happened?
牙擦你！
Crazy poachers. Max here got his foot caught in a trap. They're illegal to use here. Hell, you're not supposed to hunt within the park at all.
你成咩
That
啊？
doesn't stop some lowlifes. Well, at least Max is gonna be okay.
Max
He got lucky.
原來你就係 Max。
Max is still groggy from the shot I gave him, and I'd rather not leave him alone just yet. The form's on the desk across from the mammoth skeleton.
長毛象骨架，即係頭先有字嗰個啦。
Al, you can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster. You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No, this whole thing, listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you
Ha
had me
ha,
going there
UCCU.
real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
表格表格度。
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too. If you have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes on the radio mast. It's right below that. Oh, and hey, if you take a walk in the woods, watch your steps so you don't end up like Max. I guess I'm a little worried. We got a bunch of campers out there we haven't heard from. It's not like these people are on a schedule, but with the traps, well, you know. I just don't want any trouble.
Right. Thanks.
Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went Into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending time in padded rooms, strapped to their beds, wearing white shirts with too long tangled up sleeves, and eating a healthy diet of pills. Al, you make cruel jokes about people who believe that kind of stuff. You're the skeptic. You gave me an hour-long lecture on homeopathy last month. What was it? If there's no proof, it's pure bullshit. Period.
Guess the laugh's on me then.
Al, come on! I mean, okay. Okay, maybe something weird happened to you, okay?
Well, thanks for the heartfelt vote of confidence.
All I'm saying is you gotta throw me a bone here, bestseller. What would you think if it was me? There's no way you should be going out at midnight with a gun.
No one asked you to come here, Barry. Either work with me on this or go straight back to New York. Your choice.
跟埋嚟啦！等你打一次你就知㗎啦，俾支槍你啦，一係。
That's just crazy talk, Al. Al? Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her!
This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Okay. 點解係咁打一次啊？
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again.
Bless you.
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
喂，照翻亂
Wanna know where
你。
you can shove that flashlight?
Lock the door when I leave.
Yeah, you go ahead and do what you have to do. I'll be fine. Alone, but fine. In a cabin straight from a horror movie.
點啊？有冇亂啲啊？亂啲唔會病啊？亂翻啲未啊你？點解又得翻7粒電嘅？我明明有成20粒喎，前一關。會幫我攞走埋啊？唔搞錯啊？我唔係好啱規矩喎。開燈。
Real funny, Al. Real funny. Ha ha!
熄
Thank
燈嘢
you. I'll just sit here in the dark till you come back, or until I get eaten by a grue.
電池有啦。搞錯，自己屋都鎖，唔係我交房咩？咁都唔俾我入，唔搞錯啊！
I didn't realize we were back in the 3rd grade here.
Cái này à? Vị trí. Hả? 前往情人峰。
I'll wait here, Al. I'll hold down the fort. I'll be with your spirit every
有槍。
step of the way, Al. Walk through the door now.
佢真係好驚嗰陣時。
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry. I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice. Barry had the keys to the car he rented. It wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest.
我仲以為一揸車，人哋咁大條車路喺度。Visitor Center。垃圾桶入面啲垃圾好堅固，唔會跌出嚟。係咪日搽咗膠水？有間屋仔，有燈掣。
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage.
好似有個人行過嘅咩？
No plan, really. Just taking the atmosphere. I'm getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me about
見到你啊！
no sack
我頭先見到你㗎。
gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Pat. But I'm going to check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah. It's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously, you're in pretty good shape, though. You're the outdoors type. I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a heck of a largemouth bass early this morning.
But you're not taking part in the fishing contest?
No, not this year. See, Pat, I'm just not that competitive anymore. Now I just like to take my time and enjoy the peace of it. It's no fun if I need to worry about what I'm catching, you know?
Considering your track record, the participants are probably pretty happy you feel that way.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
冇啦，而家要睇下出面嗰個人影啦。我先見到呢度有人行過喎，喺邊？擺出嚟。咩事啊？喂，發生咩事啊，大佬 ？Drop asset。冇人追喺度跳落去咩？Northwest Peak 喺呢邊啊，呢個垃圾桶定係油桶？會唔會行過嚟呢度抌㗎？唔會抌啊嘛。呢個先係垃圾桶。 又一間屋，又一個電視，仲要踢門。人哋一入去，個電視會着㗎啦。開燈，開唔到。個電視。
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs.
又係呢個節目。上次睇咗個白痴自殺。
The Man in the Mirror.
唔知有咩睇咧？
He's inside, Agent. He's a weird one.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
Had it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal.
你是個好人，咁就派咗張卡啦。
You pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists. Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. The white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark. Believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me? What's the point? I'm going to prison. You got me.
I don't understand any of this.
And you never will.
搞乜鬼啊？
Maybe you'll see me again, Agent. Maybe in the mirror.
睇完電視走去。街燈，街燈你唔着嘅喂，街燈。風。有原稿。
The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page.
即係遊客中心有嘢嗎？上面個係咩啊？涼亭？係咪涼亭嘅嘢咧？知 Do not feed wildlife。唔好餵狗啫。登上嚟執張紙。
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. But Rusty wasn't the prince of her dreams, and that tended to underline the unbearable truth. She was no closer to that Hollywood magic than he was.
Fallen rock song 係咪會有石頭跌落嚟㗎？好驚喎！係咪熄晒燈㗎？唔係真係跌石頭啊！
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me!
發生咩事啊 ？Visitor Center 喺呢度啦。Cafe open new shop， 有買咖啡。嚟邊啊？羅斯提被黑暗魅影攻擊。咦？呢個係黑暗魅影，唔係黑暗骷髏喎。
The visitor center was sturdy, but the impact turned the front of the building into splinters. Rusty was thrown across the lobby like a rag doll and hit the far wall hard. It didn't hurt until he tried to move and saw his leg bend the wrong way, felt the broken ribs stabbing him on the inside. Rusty howled in pain and fear, suddenly afraid to die alone. The ranger's office was locked. I'd need a key to get in.
佢有鎖匙係咪？所以我要行過去，跟住睇佢死，跟住佢俾鎖匙我，然後我就可以過嚟開門啦，係咪咁呢？
Hello? I'm back here! Hey, please help me! Mr. Wake? Oh, hell. It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened. Shh. Good boy.
仲係開唔到呢道門。兩道門開到未？開唔俾開。
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
你開燈啦！
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold light, I was safe.
燈掣邊有燈掣？填字彈藥，仲要燈掣。有啦。
I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
又係斧頭。
Rusty!
咩事？我哋見你最後一面啦。
The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness.
I just need hunting licenses.
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Please don't feed the animals.
Mass， 你點啊 ？Mass，
Fishing is only permitted for those visitors who purchase a park fishing license. Obey the park ranger's instructions at all times. Rusty, no! Never! Two bears and wolves never approach any other wildlife closer than 25 yards. Pets must be leashed at all times. Never leave your pet unattended. It is against the law to remove any natural objects or historical artifacts from the park.
發生咩事啊？
This includes even rocks you may find along the river, or even simple berries.
Sir. 發生咗啲咩事啊？哇！又有等人。啊！又避唔開。就係死啊！就係死啊！死咗。又要打多次唔係啊？
The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness. Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Please don't feed the animals. Obey the park ranger's instructions at all times. Fishing, Rusty, is Rusty, no! For those visitors who purchase a park license, never two bears and wolves never approach any other wildlife closer than 25 yards. Pets must be leashed at all times. Never leave your pet unattended.
走嚟走去啦。
This includes even simple berries.
唔好走嚟走去得唔得？講咁耐嘅。哦，終於搞掂啦！冧咗棵樹啊！冧咗棵樹啊喂！唔係呢個嘢冧晒嘅。
Forget about it, Barry. It's just me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy. Ow, be careful.
你終於相信我啦。Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it.
入面有啲咩㗎？睇下有冇嘢執，小心唔好跌落去。走。又有嘢。電池。左輪。哇！滿晒彈啊！我嘢。
In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
點解呢度會有一啤啤酒嘅咧？For your safety, stay on designated hiking trail. 如果我唔需要行嘅話，其實我都唔係好想行其他路嘅。
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
人入得啦？呢得喎，你有箭嘴添喎。有咩嘢？係咪信號彈呢？有信號彈？滿山旗，我見到你啊，黑影！我見到有個黑影喺度㗎，唔好以為我見唔到啊！真空啊！散彈槍，唔知入面應該有子彈。一電池咋？呢度西洋酒屈，原來可以裝酒喺呢度。點解會有補給品嘅？Lover's Peak 喺呢度啦，繼續行。我一過嚟呢盞燈就爆，咩意思啊？有咩唔啱啊？好似係掟嘢啊！哇！呢度都有。哇！啊！斬到啦！搞掂，但係都係俾佢打到一次啊！我聽嘟嘟聲嘅。見到嗰度有盞燈，咁就過去啦。聞唔到。有嘢嘅有隻熊啊！我唔係石頭嘅，我以為隻熊添。
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell, Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the kind of fan that Al hated. But she really tried to help. She was smart, too. Knew a lot about what was going on in the town. Knew a lot about Al. Even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise. When it came to women, Barry and Al rarely saw eye to eye.
咦，又有咗睇，盞燈唔會爆啊！你有咩有四隻熊喺度嘅？粒子彈，太好啦！Great Old One。後面又有。又俾佢陰到添，老大哥 The Great Old One， 呢個翻譯幾有趣，我咪走翻晒補佢先啊！走翻晒啊！我要補佢啊！耶！走得。喺呢個村度會點啊？會冇嘢。又俾佢斬咗下添，我見到有燈啊，但係好危險啊！喂！我啱啱閃到，又有盞燈啦，熄咗，開返着佢。
turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk. It was here for a reason, packed with supplies, batteries, flares, ammo, things you need to make it through the darkness of the night. Something left behind by someone who knew what I knew, and more.
咁呢個附近有冇補給呢？The taken are filled with darkness。上次好似都見過。又嚟。飛我唔好係咁抌我喎。嗱，我哋走快過去。對，右邊，喺度。太多啦！落手貼喺呢度，望下其他地方先。乜都冇。Four tree。咁呢個咩嚟㗎？這個年輪來自一棵從1846年開始成長的樹。奧勒岡條約就是在那年簽訂。年輪可以標示重要事件咁威嘢。 唔好喐住啊！唔好喐住，唔好喐住。真係有年份喺度喎。跳。內丁格抵達量報。
Agent Nightingale didn't want to be in Bright Falls. These little communities revolted him, and he didn't like the trees or the coffee. He now knew that impossible horrors lurked behind the storefronts and smiles. He desperately wanted to turn the car around and just drive until he passed out or ran out of road and booze. But he had a job to do. He had a rider to catch, at any cost.
有人嚟捉我，搞到好驚。Please keep doors closed. 哦，咩事？
Come on, we gotta get moving. More of them coming. That flashlight's kid stuff. The flares will keep the bastards away.
You can see them too?
Hell, of course I see them. Come on, we gotta move.
Why?
Because that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but...
Let's move!
I lost my gun back there.
Oh, I've got a gun. Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, wait!
我嘅
You better keep up.
CT 又係呢句，係咪好似有哇！信號火炬太威啦！啲槍法唔係你需要練下咧？命中率大概50-50啫喎。不過你正常有冇牌子啊？
Lover's Peak, right up these stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake.
Are you kidding? Give me the gun!
No time for back talk. Hold them off, damn it.
哇，好多！
Just a little longer and scare them off. Get some light on those bastards. That'll keep them off us. Just a little longer. I almost got it. Okay, it's open. Move it or lose it. Oh, you're feeling better now, Wade. All cozy and safe. Come on. Only sissies are afraid of the dark. Better get ready. They'll be on us soon.
NPC 真係好，有無限子彈。
This is it, Wake. The last stand. There's more flares here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming.
Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming!
That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake.
搞乜鬼啊？點解要咁做啊？抌啦抌啦抌啦！ 再抌。喂！耶！仲有。 啊！對死啊！對死啊！ 咁多支。再抌多支。你冇路走啊！喂，打準啲啊！仲有冇？ 有咖啡，有咖啡樽。啊，浸唔到啊
The act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were going to say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're going to bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her mouth.
可唔可以唔好打咁大力啊？
kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here! He had Alice, and he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power. But I had no manuscript to give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move. On more than one occasion, Alice had tried to explain to me how it felt to be afraid of the dark. To her, darkness wasn't simply the absence of light, but something more tangible than that. It was something you could touch and feel. Worse than that, it was something with a mind of its own, something malicious and malign. For her, things changed when they were wrapped in darkness. They turned into something else, something foreign, and nothing was safe or innocent anymore. I'd never really understood what she meant, until now.
會唔會冧㗎？冇事。又見到你喺嗰邊，但係要睇呢度有冇嘢先。唔知，好似冇啩。
Rusty had warned me about these traps. It hurt like hell. I was stuck.
咁大鑊？仲會踩陷阱㗎呢個森林，好麻煩喎。唔好踩喎，唔好踩。我一路都係，我覺得走啊！哇，好多陷阱喎呢度。呢啲唔係，呢啲係子彈嚟嘅。太好啦，有子彈。
Sarah didn't care about the legal threats Wake's agent had made. She let Wake go without argument, because there was something about him she couldn't quite put her finger on, something that reminded her of her father. She didn't think Wake would hurt his wife. Then she thought about the way he waded into Hartman, that hair-trigger rage flaring up without warning.
真係會俾人捉啦！打耶！ 冇啊嘛。之前要3槍喎，點解1、2槍搞掂咧？好，快兩步先。跟住 ，OK。耶！又返嚟。
The night had been one desperate situation after another. I was exhausted, and my body felt as though it had been chewed up and spat out. The flashlight was heavy in my hand, and each pull of the trigger sent a painful shock up my arm. But I was finally out of the woods, and things were looking up. That's when I heard the chainsaw.
咁大鑊，演腳。咁又見唔到你。好似冇乜子彈。I
had heard the plane fall. It made no sense. It was clear that it had just fallen here, but it was very old and obviously hadn't flown in decades. Looking at it sent a shiver down my spine.
Mudia. 其實依家要去邊啊？呢度嗎？哦，得你好似冇關事喎。喂，喂！死咗！啊，又喺呢度開始啊！低。
I had heard the plane fall. It made no sense. It was clear that it had just flown. But it was very old and obviously hadn't flown in decades. Looking at it sent a shiver down my spine.
呢度走落去。又嚟，前後都有。冇咁過分喎。打。 爭啲死。仲有。有燈，打電。見到好似有間屋。係咪去到間屋度就安全㗎？得返你一隻，咁就要搞啦。我好似都冇乜點用嗰啲信號火炬添。咪住，咁嗰邊有冇嘢執啊？唔俾上啊！冇嘢啊！哇！最後都係跌死咗。伐木場中的副警長。
The logging site was a mess. The modular office had been pushed off the cliff. Deputy Thornton climbed up from the wreckage excited, breathing hard from the exertion.
Nobody there. It's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Bored, Mulligan let out a mighty snort. Hell, it's always weird, Thornton. Just a question of sorting out what kind of weird it is this time around.
呢件我未經歷嘅事，墳墓場入面嘅警署。車。咁犀利咩？招屈。
When Barry saw the darkness attack the visitor center, it made him a believer. The men Al said he'd shot, they hadn't been just locals on crank. Somehow the world had changed, like the channel had been switched without warning. You think you're watching a sitcom, and you're really watching a horror show. When the birds started attacking the cabin, Barry wasn't surprised, just terrified.
就係佢遲啲會見到黑暗攻擊遊客中心啦，劇透。呢份嘢劇透樹嚟嘅。點解佢自己爛嘅咧？The darkness wears her face.
Be aware of Widowmakers.
爭少少佢打咗落海喎。有原稿。韋克感覺到黑暗微影。
Shadows stirred and the wind picked up as I ran through the forest. I felt the dark presence turning its gaze toward me. Then the moonlight was blotted out by dark shadows that raced violently across the ground, moving too swiftly to be natural. Darkness gathered between the trees and melted again to reveal the taken. No natural path had brought them here.唔會碌落嚟嘛？
哇！要打成6槍先搞掂啊！Campground 又有啊電鋸啊！再抌多啲，得啦。轉槍，搞掂。呢隻嘢都唔係好難打啫。嗰啲係 campground。呢度係完全冇補給啊！真係冇喎。Elderwood National Park 又一個涼亭。
Barry? Ow! The porch is covered with birds. They've got all Hitchcock on me.
Stay out of sight. I'm on my way. Don't open the door.
What am I, crazy?
Stay hidden. I'll be there soon. Just make sure you keep the lights on.
開燈就得㗎啦。Campground 好多 camp 有露營
I still had to reach Barry
有
at
屋
the cabin, but at least I was out of the woods.
有冇人住㗎？全部都唔見晒。
I'd have to get the car from the locked garage. It would get me back to Barry faster, and the headlights were a welcome bonus.
你一早就應該諗揾車啦，出發嘅時候你又唔揾。誒，有原稿。萊丁格對韋克開槍，又係呢個劇透處。講晒劇情俾我知。
Considered surrender. It was all falling apart anyway. I could give in, let someone else deal with it, but it felt all wrong. Call it instinct, his posture, the way he held the gun. He was no friend. Shots ringing in my ears, I leaped for the hole in the fence and stumbled into the darkness beyond.
女廁、男廁，入男廁定女廁？入咗男廁先。
I had to find the key to the garage.
開唔開得啊？呢個開得，呢個開得，呢個唔開得，入面有人。有鎖匙啦。
A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logic that fits the story. A single flaw and the magic is gone. The story dies. Alice dies.
開門啦！我知你喺度啊！好，係就有個女廁望啦。唔好意思啊，打攪晒啊！咦，3道門開晒喎，點解女廁入面會有獵槍彈藥？嗱，依返去啦，又有敵人，睇清楚啲有冇嘢執先，應該冇，衝啊！返去啦！都係要撞啊，同冇嘢。駕駛，我有車庫鎖匙，但我冇車匙喎。唔好理啦。開。死啊！可以落車添喎。咁就落車睇下有冇嘢執啊！應該冇。原來真係有得揸車嘅，呢架車，你呢架車都得，我再揸返呢架啦。慢慢撞死你，撞死你，搞掂，超強。做咩啊？頭先咁閃燈嘅。 耶！咁多嘅，算啦。總覺得唔係好對路，不如走人。走去係咪呢邊啊？我諗架新車，又揸唔揸得㗎？唔俾揸。嗰架車出緊煙喎，我又唔係好咁揸。咦？有嘢，呢度有嘢。
There was no misunderstanding. Cauldron Lake was where Alice and I had stayed, but there was no cabin and no island. I was missing a week. What had happened to me? What had happened to Alice? I had to get her back. I couldn't face life without her.
又嚟？後面又有。快走啊！快走啊！唔緊要啦，出煙就出煙啦！咦？點解揸唔揸得㗎？得，太好啦！翻嚟啦！翻嚟啦！What the hell？ 點解有架車喺度咧？又點解有架車喺度咧？
The flare gun was probably the best weapon I could imagine against the dark things I was facing.
信號槍又返嚟啦，太好！就嚟一發啦！ 槍、2槍、3槍、4槍、5槍、6槍，又有。閃！翻去啦！
It was the kidnapper.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need... a week.
It's not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building, there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. If not, well, get me?
Yes, I get you.
唔好理啦，快先啦！我就係為咗呢個原因，所以係咁拗晒就咁寫稿嘛。仲有單。
Barry had talked about birds over the phone.
信號槍、信號火炬、信號槍、信號火炬。信號火炬，信號火炬。抌。佢點啊？係咁照住你就得㗎啦。我一路照住佢哋，佢哋一路死㗎喎。Yeah。太恐怖啦！招呼啊！
Hey, Al. I'm sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
I sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the
我
town.
覺得
We'll
佢
be
把
there
聲好
in
似有
less
啲
than
問
an
題。
hour. See you soon.
佢把聲完全好似
Have
係
a great day.
病病地咁。
Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the old
dear diner.
Good girl.
又係你個老大婆。
Come here. Pretty please. Can you tell me where I am? You won't you say something?
第二集完。
I need to get my bearings.
Previously on Alan Wake, Alice has been kidnapped.
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
I can't tell anyone except my agent Barry.
Damn it, Barry, the killer. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head.
The ransom is a manuscript I supposedly wrote that's coming true before my eyes.
It happened just the way it was on that page. So dark.
I have found only a few scattered pages.
I want the entire manuscript.
The deadline is in 2 days.
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Good girl.
How the hell did she get her hands on the manuscript anyway?
I don't know. She's resourceful. I told you you were too hard on her. Listen, I found out all sorts of interesting stuff while I was digging around.
Yeah.
Mr. Wake, it's Sheriff Breaker. We have an FBI agent here, Agent
哇！
Nightingale.
呢個就係想殺我嗰個啦。
He's
FBI 嚟原來係。
You'd better come to the station.
Okay, I'll be right over, Sheriff. Let's make this quick, huh?
Help you folks? Name's Randolph. I'm the manager.
We're looking for Rose. Works as a waitress down at the diner.
Rose, sure. Nice girl. Who wants to know?
I'm Alan Wake.
The writer, huh? I heard on the radio you were visiting. Well, I'll show you her trailer. That Rose, she's a nice girl. Always pays her rent on time.
As I was saying, Al, I found all sorts of weird stuff from the local newspaper's archives. This place is crazy. Disappearances, mysterious deaths, urban legends come true, and get this, most of this stuff takes place around Cauldron Lake.
Well, you ain't wrong, mister. The Indians thought the lake was a doorway to the underworld. I'm the God-fearing type myself. I don't hold with that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, there was an island there owned by a guy called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle.
潛水夫
But the
島。
volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
OK。好啦。